Yo guys, welcome back. Today we're doing a step-by-step guide on what you need to be focused on and looking out for after breakthrough 7 on Where Winds Meet. We have 9 days until the next breakthrough, which gives us plenty of time to get strong, make builds, and prep up for the next breakthrough. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. So after breaking through and coming to your gear page, probably the most noticeable thing here is going to be the new system called Divine Craft. This is simply an upgrade to your fire oils, toxic powders, and aqua wax. These are consumables you can use in combat to add bonus effects to your attacks, and this system is simply taking those to the next level. Getting these mats is similar to farming the upgrade mats for your mystic skills. If you're wanting to upgrade the fire divine craft, you will be targeting Buddha's tier ginseng, which is then going to become out marked on the map. You simply track these, and this drop will be added to the drop table of the ginseng along with the tier root, and now we'll have these available to drop as well to upgrade our divine craft fire. Let's go over what all of these do, and we'll start with what I think is the strongest one, and it's going to be the poison. Consume toxic powder to increase HP damage dealt by 0.6% and key damage dealt by 1%, and apply poison to the enemy. That poison is going to take the HP damage and bonus key damage and apply that over time. Then it can quickly break through iron body units, key lock. So this is going to help to stagger bosses and put them into the execute phase, which is really important because that's where you're doing a lot of your damage. And the second upgrade just happens to synergize with that. Execution deals damage one more time during this effect. And then the third one, which applies to all of them, is going to increase duration by 10 seconds. So we'll go to the fire. You're going to consume fire oil to increase HP damage by 1.1% and apply a burn to the enemy. Then the second effect is going to, on consecutive attacks, trigger an additional explosion. And then the third one will increase the duration by 10 seconds. Then for your aqua wax, this is going to increase HP damage dealt by 0.6% and resilience damage by 5% and imply stagnant to the enemy. Then for the second upgrade, this is going to increase interruption resistance during this effect, and then your 10-second duration. I believe I don't play much PvP, but I think the aqua wax is the one you want to use for PvP. Not 100% sure on that though. So now that we got the divine craft system out of the way, let's get into actually getting stronger. And the very first step is going to be equipping the breakthrough reward gear. Although pretty obvious, we are doing this to remove our old tier gear so we can get it into the arsenal, which is going to give us another damage and HP boost. Now, the arsenal does cap at tier 6, but the higher you can get that overcap number, the more HP you get, so be aware of that. I wouldn't stress it too much. You probably have a good amount of old tier gear to min-max this if you want it. Next, I suggest if you're like me and have OCD, clear out your inventory, recycle whatever old tier gear you have left in your inventory to make space for the new gear you're going to be getting. Now that we have a clear inventory, our old tier gear in our arsenal, the quickest and best way to get some gear is going to be in the seasonal shop and purchase the tier 56 gear chest. Pop those open depending on your build. As for me, I run Nameless or Strategic Sword mostly, so I'm going for the Hawking set. Hopefully you get something worth using in your build. Although I did not get extremely lucky with nice rolls, I was able to complete both my sets by the end of it. Now that we're all set up with some new tier gear, next you want to enhance all your gear slots. At this point in the game, you probably have more than enough of the mats available in your inventory. But if you don't, they are purchasable through the portable merchants. And of course, you could simply just go hunting for them. I mostly hunted for mine pre-breakthrough because I knew we'd be using a lot. And coin, I used about 450,000 coin doing all these upgrades. So farming pre-breakthrough is going to be very important going forward. Up next, we could do our martial art upgrades. At this point, I would only focus on the main weapons you run a lot. These are going to get very costly in the future. From what I've heard, these will cost 100 plus tips in the later tiers. So use wisely because a lot of these are coming from gear boxes that you have in your inventory. So please be very smart about this. Don't try to upgrade everything to the new highest level. If you're not using it, leave it down at a lower level. Now, mystic skills can go to tier 3, which takes a lot of these skills to the next level, but this does come at a pretty decent cost. We now need Ebon Iron rank 3. Now, we did just receive some with the daily login, but other than that, you'll need to farm this in the outpost queue. That will cost you some of your energy. Some mystic skills I would suggest focusing on for PvE from a DPS perspective would be Cloud Steps with Guardian Palm, which is still a really nice combo, and Cloud Steps is just great for gap closing. Along with that, Dragon's Breath and Drunken Poet, which now at tier 3 gets the synergy that takes these two skills to the next level. Dragon's Breath now applies ignition that stacks 10 times, and Drunken Poet sets that ignition off with an explosion for some serious damage. Another combo for a support build would be the Toad along with Lion's Roar. After that, be aware we can now advance our oddity tree a bit more in Kaifeng since it was time gated to this breakthrough. So head over there, top left of the map, and get those upgrades. Some are pretty hefty for damage and survivability. Now, at this point, I would say you're more than ready for content. First, let's look at burning our daily energy. I would first run the outpost queue for the Ebon Iron to finish off the Mystic skill rank ups you want. Then go over to the Duo boss queue and spend your energy there for the gear boxes, inner art boxes, and more. This was also a great way to level. One run of this took me from 56 to 60 with no problem, since we have all that stored XP from the last week. Now you should have a decent amount of gear and some sets that you wanted. We aren't looking for any god rolls yet. I would suggest sets, hopefully some stats you want, and live with that for now. This next step is really important. We're going to want to tune our gear, although it's probably not exactly what we want long term. Hitting 13,500 gear score is really important because this unlocks two of the strongest talent upgrades we have received for min and max damage. So pick some decent gear pieces you have, tune those up, because these talent upgrades are going to make a ton of difference in your overall damage. By this point, you are more than ready for the 10-man trial. If you ran the tier 51 version, not much has changed here. The same mechanics, just more of them. My guild groups breeze through these runs. We probably did close to 20 runs total to get everyone through for guild completion and the regular weekly completion, which are separate actually. So if you're doing the full guild run, this will need to be done through the guild events menu, but this will not use your weekly loot pool, so you will need to go back and do it through the Wandering Tales menu. Also note, after beating all these bosses, you will want to check your boss talent tree since we're able to get more points from the higher tier versions, and these will also unlock some titles along the way. And if you did any leaderboard chasing in the previous tier or here in this tier, we received these sick badges with a tracker for future leaderboard placements. Me and a lot of my guild are going for leaderboard title at the end of the season. It's so glorious. So also getting this badge with this tracker is a really, really cool thing in my opinion. If you're looking for a guide to keep you ready for any breakthrough, I suggest checking out my daily and weekly guide I just released a few days ago, because if you're following those steps, you'll be ready for any breakthrough, especially when it comes to materials. And that should cover everything for your breakthrough level 7 guide. Any questions or suggestions, let me know in the comments. I am live daily on Twitch. We have a great community and guild for this game with a few spots open. We're looking for daily grinders, speedrunners, and guild task completers. So if you're interested, stop by my stream and let us know in the chat. We're mostly a guild run through my stream and Discord. Link to both of those is going to be in the description. Like and subscribe is appreciated. Thanks, guys. Peace.